been a while since I've allowed myself to get excited for a game, but this might actually be the coolest thing I've seen in a video game ever. I went to look for Civilization 7 news on when it was releasing a few weeks ago, and it had been out for 5 months, which is wild. Like, I'm a huge Civilization fan. Yes, I did jump on with 5. I'm not some kind of an expert on the series, but I've played hundreds of hours of Civ 5, a lot of Beyond Earth. Way better game than it's given credit for, by the way. The Rising Tide DLC fixed a lot. And I played a lot of Civ 6, didn't like Civ 6, and I played like 10 hours of Endless Legend 1 and just couldn't get into the game for some reason. I like that any unit can start the capital. I love that any unit can found the capital. I love that any unit can clear forests. Now, oh shit. Oh, fuck. I'm right on the edge of the territory, so it cut the size of my city in half. Oh, that's awful. Oh, I didn't even get the resources from this one thing. That was exactly what I wanted. Oh, my city size got cut in half. I didn't even get the one tile I wanted. Oh, that sucks. Oh, fuck you. Oh, fuck you. God damn it. Well, we're restarting now. Great, let's go back to let's fucking restart. But boy, did I play a lot of Endless Space 2. And it's super exciting to know that the studio behind it is making a sequel to an older title that didn't quite land and was more of a cult classic. And now I think it's finally gotten to the point where it's good enough where it can be just a classic. Why are you going down there? Why are you attacking them from the low ground? What the fuck? What the fuck are you doing? Oh, the combat was the worst thing about the first game, too. I pondered over this for a really long time. Like, how specifically am I going to bring people information on Endless Legend 2? And then I was like, people like the schizophrenic personality anyway. May as well just read off some of my notes. God, I am so in love with this game. Why did you get off the high grounds? Why? Are you stupid? Oh, God. See, now he took the high ground. What the fuck? You morons! The secondary civilizations, minor civilizations, whatever you want to call them, extra city-states, they could use some work, though. Check out the coast. Minor faction. Look at these big ape-looking dudes. No, I just want... No! No, I'm trying to just click the defend. That's really annoying. Okay. I'm trying to just defend on the high ground. Oh, right. Melee units don't take damage when they attack, which I thought was dumb. We didn't hurt them at all when they attacked? Interesting. What? Wait. Okay. Well, that fucking sucks. Wait, we're getting attacked here too? Essentially, the way it works is in your starting territory and in random, I'd say it's about 50-50, territories around you. You will have these individual towns, which you can go and do a quest for to pacify them, and their population will then join your city, which is great, and you're going to want to rush for that as soon as possible. But if you don't know to rush for that, you're kind of screwed. Okay, well, that sucks. Our entire army is gone. All right, well, see if we die, I guess. I don't know. Nothing to do. Wow, I get to hit end turn a lot. Yay. If you don't finish their quest soon enough, they start spawning armies, and some of those armies can be pretty strong. Randomized, by the way, so you never know if you're going to have armies spawning that are strong enough to wipe your entire starting army, or at least focus down your hero and kill them, or if they'll spawn armies that are an absolute joke. Free XP. Hey, look, to be clear, Holy Slag, I don't have any illusions about the fact that a lot of this is just me sucking. Bum rush and start parlaying with them before they spawn units to hunt us down. Did I get it? Nice. Okay. Wow, that's 2 villages. Okay, again, that was so easy. That was so easy if you know exactly what you're doing and you rush to go and do it immediately on turn 1. By turn 4, I now have 2 villages, 3 villages pacified on turn 4. And if I hadn't known ahead of time to bum rush straight for doing that, the results would have been catastrophic. I'd have roaming armies strong enough to wipe out my entire army. Like, that's not... That's a noob trap. Another problem with the battles right now is that there's no incentive to ever do any tactic other than just bum rushing at the enemy as fast as possible. Unless maybe you stack your army with ranged. Like, yeah, there is some terrain modification. Attacking an enemy who's downhill from you will cause you to do more damage. You'll take less range damage if you're in trees, but it's a super weak buff. What's actually going to make a difference in terms of your battle is the experience of the hero who's leading your army, and whatever buffs you took out of their skill tree 18 turns ago and are now just causing your archers to just do more damage. In one of the streams where I played this game, I made a joke about it clearly being made by D&D nerds, because the buffs that you take for your hero when they level up matter so much more than, like, tactical positioning in the battles, which is so fucking D&D nerd logic. Why can they suddenly not do any damage? Apparently I should have taken the auto... What the fuck? Why can't I do any damage? Why are none of my units doing any damage? What bullshit is this? Why are none of my units doing any fucking damage? Ah! Whatever. I'm going back like... I'm going back. I can't. No, we're going back. We're going back like 10 turns. What bullshit is this? Why are none of my units doing any damage? I've put hundreds of hours into Civ 5, and my favorite way to play that game, like my favorite mode, is Raging Barbarians. I like having to think defensively about my cities. I like having to think defensively as far as where I put my units. Having to stretch 1 unit to defeat 5 units using careful positioning and tactics, wearing down the enemy slowly while doing an organized retreat back into your territory. That's really cool. It's tactical. I like doing that. Too bad you can't really do that here. It seems like the developers really wanted to find a good middle ground between the Civilization style, all of the units actually attack each other on the game board, and the Total War style loading screen between combat and campaign map, because the battles take place in an alternate universe with completely separate mechanics and controls that are wholly unique to that part of the game. They're trying to do this weird hybrid, and I'm not gonna lie, it kind of just makes things worse. I'd rather they just picked a lane. There's a couple routes they could go with it, to be honest. I mean, especially with it being a fantasy game, it's really disappointing, because the way you should make it more interesting is to just pick one of those lanes and just add new elements to it that you wouldn't have in a Civilization game or a Total War game. As much as I know that Total War fans really bemoan the Total War Warhammer fans as a subset of fans of the franchise, it can't be denied the way that huge units and mages changed Total War so fundamentally that I don't think the series is ever going to be able to actually get rid of those units. Large fantasy units and mages are going to be an absolute like must in RTS and 4X games from here on out. Sorry, as far as Endless Legend 2, it really sucks that magic units are just shitty ranged units, both heroes and actual units themselves. There's a couple different ways they could go with that. I think what would be more interesting is instead of having this weird second map for the battles, just have it work like it did in Civilization, but throw in magic. There's a couple ways you could do that. You can have actual magic spells, but again, that does kind of just make them shitty ranged. Here's what I think would be really interesting. Have mages be a counter for ranged. You shoot arrows at a mage, they just dissipate. Maybe they're an acid mage and they melt. Maybe they're a fire mage and they burn up. Maybe they're a water mage and they get washed away. Whatever. But right now, there's only melee and ranged units. And again, there's some like differentiation in the melee. You have swarm units and juggernaut units and infantry units. In the ranged, you have arrows and you also have mages, which are basically just shitty ranged. Make mages their whole separate category and make them kind of like a big circle. Infantry can be nullified with ranged. Ranged can be nullified by mages. Mages can be nullified by infantry. That could be really, really cool. And you could then have a lot more differentiation within those individual bounds. Like if you still want to have swarm, infantry, and juggernaut units all within the melee category, swarm units could be better against ranged, but do less damage. Juggernauts could do a lot more damage, but are way weaker and take even more damage from range compared to other melee infantry units. That could be really cool because, you know, they're big targets, basically apes from Total War, but it makes sense. I think that would be a vastly more interesting system, whether you wanted to just go to the Civilization style, battles are part of your turn, or if you wanted to still do this weird hybrid system that I really don't like. I will say, though, as far as things they improved from Endless Legend 1, I do like that the battles are a lot faster. Even just having your units gathering together was such a slow process. It just made the game feel so clunky and so sluggish. The UI in Endless Legend 1 was very, very cluttered, and also kind of just looked bad. Like it looked cheap, honestly. It looked like it was some UI, some like Unity basic thing that they bought. That was the biggest problem with Endless Legend 1. It wasn't even that the mechanics were bad, it was that they were sluggish, and they felt like such a slog. And the UI was ugly. Please believe me when I say I do like Endless Legend 1, I just didn't like playing Endless Legend 1. And I'm so glad they brought over so many of the improvements from Endless Space 2, especially with the menus and the UI. I swear to God, Amplitude are the masters of UI. Like, there's a lot of stuff being thrown at you, but it's so smooth to scroll through everything. I love that. Oh, nice, they kept that feature. One of the things I like about the UI in this game is you can just right-click and it automatically, like, takes you a level out toward the main view, which is great. Basically, if you mash right-click, you go back to your starting screen, your overview. It just automatically takes you out. It'll close one menu at a time every time you right-click, no matter where you are, and it'll always do that. It's great. More than me to do that because clutter on the screen is the biggest killer as far as making 4X games feel impenetrable to new players. Having that little, like, just get rid of everything on screen button is so nice to have and helps to keep the player from feeling overwhelmed, which is such an important thing. Again, I know it's filthy casual talk, but we want people getting onboarded to the franchise. That's what I want. Whoa, look at that farm. Look at that. That's cool as hell. Look at the design work in this game. This is so fucking cool. I mean, fortunately, if nothing else, the game is absolutely gorgeous. It not only is graphically better than Endless Legend 1, but on top of that, it still carries on how good the art style from Endless Legend 1, and in some areas, I think it actually really improves it. The Fog of War is super ugly. Like, it looks graphically good, but it's really, really hideous. Like, I would just get rid of the fog, just slightly darken the area you can't see, make it subtle, so I'm not, like, thinking about it. Like, that fog effect is just... Don't sacrifice the color, is what I'm saying. Now, there was one thing that really did solidify the fact that this was a game I was going to need to talk about immediately. And that was fighting the bugs. The bugs are so interesting. I was so incredibly impressed Now, the demo that I had did not allow me to play as the bugs, but I was able to play against them. They end up everywhere. It's so cool. They're the single city challenge and also the swarm faction. That's a really cool combination because I feel like otherwise single city challenge factions are usually really niche. Well, now they're actually viable because they're the faction that's designed to swarm the rest of the planet, and they can't put cities down, but they can put burrows back to the main nest. I hope that other players can use the burrows too, maybe at some kind of a cost or some kind of attrition, or they have to fight a battle to be able to do it against like a swarm of grubs. But they should definitely be able to, and have those burrows be a double-edged sword for the bugs. I hope they do that. That would be super cool. I think that's pretty much... Is that all I had? I think that's all that I had. It's definitely enough for this video. I'm going to be playing a lot of this game. Catch me on stream when I'm going to be painting and playing this. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's a free demo, guys. Just go play it for yourself, please. Please do. It's great. I will see you in the next one.